verbal permission to do that. If you don't have that in writing, they can roll up in there, yank you out of there, and violate your probation.
Yes.
I'm trying to help you. But you're saying that you're living the straight and narrow at this point, right?
Yes.
Okay. I got a problem. You know, you're wondering whether or not he is a risk. I don't know whether he's a risk. 43% of sex offenders get rearrested within 3 years. Now, only a small percentage of those are for another sex crime, like 5.1%. And actually, only 3.5% of those that do it with a family member reoffend within that period of time. So the fact is, he's probably pretty darn low risk of offending against your granddaughter and your daughter, just based on statistics. But you are a high risk for going back to jail if you violate your probation, and you've already violated your probation because you have had not one but 2 DWIs.
I had 1 DWI since I've been on probation. My first one was well before being on probation.
You realize that's a violation of your probation?
Yes, it is. I did violate probation for that. And I'm trying to live my life one day at a time, and I'm trying to make the best of my life that I possibly can.
Were you right to be prosecuted for this sexual offense?
If I was able to go down to trial, I would have tried to do what I can to make things right. Because I did get charged as an adult when I was a child for this happening.
Are you a victim here, or are you guilty?
I'm not saying I'm a victim, because I have made that mistake. It's been very hard to be charged as an adult for something that happened when I was a child, to live my life every day as a registered sex offender and have that over my shoulder. I know what I did was wrong. I've owned up to what I have done. I've gone to counseling. I've tried as much as I can.
So you acknowledge and admit that was wrong, unacceptable, inappropriate, not okay. You get that, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And you're not trying to minimize that or trivialize that?
No. But as I was a child when it happened, I did not know consequences. I did not know that it was wrong.
What do you think about what he's saying?
I still don't hear you acknowledging that you're just portraying yourself like, oh, because of this, because of circumstance, because I was young, because I didn't know any better. You've been always 5 years older. 5 years older.
All right, let's take a break. Melinda says she has no intentions of breaking it off with her boyfriend. I'm going to tell you what I think when we come back. Michelle wrote to me because she is at her wit's end with her daughter, who is dating a registered sex offender. Her daughter is at her wit's end because her mother is controlling and dominating and judgmental about not just this, but everything else that she does. One of the issues I'm talking about is whether or not we as a community should be concerned if a registered sex offender moves into our neighborhood or into our building. And it's really interesting to know that sex abusers typically don't just have one victim. I will show you how many victims they typically have. Is it 10? No. 20? No. 30? No. As many as 40 victims. 70% tend to have between 1 and 9. 20% tend to have between 10 and 40, and then